Right, hi everyone. It's coral feeding day. I do it on a Sunday and I do it on a Wednesday. The first thing I do though is I turn my sump off. It's not running now, look, it's right up here. It's off now. All that's in there is I've got a power head for my refusion, okay? So now that is not running, that water, all it has got now is wave makers, so the water's not going through anything yet. It's switched off basically. So these are the things I use. First is my amino acids, A and B from Red Sea. There they are, look. I use 5 ml of each. And apparently, well, you can actually, once, if you're going to feed them, you can actually mix them together. But you know, they keep them separate because one's vitamins, one's amino acids. But there you go. 5 ml of each, there's 10 ml there, right? Then, after 5 minutes, I put in this. Phytoplankton from Brightwell. It's nearly 30 quid a bottle, but it's got 5 or 6 different planktons in it, you know? So it's pretty good. And I use 10 ml of that. And that goes in. Then I give it another 5 minutes. I've got a coral paste, which the fish eat, and it lets off a smoky, cloudy stuff, and it gets into this water flow. And these two carpets here love it. You know, all corals love it. That's what it's there for, you know? So, and then I've got this Gamma food here. Gamma SPS. I know it's SPS because they didn't have any LPS. And in fact, this was even dearer. So I got this one. And I use 5 ml of that. And it says more, but I do it twice a week. But the thing is, you add it with a little bit of tank water, look. And I use half a cube of lobster eggs goes in there as well to make up for it, yeah? So that's the 4 stages of the corals basically, but that is fish food as well. Then I've got my Mysis RS here for the fish because I've tended it. Then I've got stuff there for the lionfish, but that's for a separate video. It's getting shrimps today, not a chunk of fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my missus to film me how I feed these corals, because if you spot feed certain corals, the fish come along, especially him, Foxy, and the tangs, and they just bite hell out the Duncan, they bite hell out my elegance, and it can damage them. And then they get into a routine knowing it's got food and they don't leave them alone. I mean, I've just put 2 brand new baby air cans in. I've just glued them to the rock, and already Foxy's pulled them off. So I've glued them on, look, so don't think they're looking any good at the minute. They've been in about 10 minutes and the glue hasn't even gone off yet. And I got myself a Blastosoma as well, and that's just, well, it's stressed at the minute. Like I say, it's been in about 10 minutes, bless it. If that ain't happy there, because they don't like a lot of light, I'll move it maybe into the cave or in there, or I might just put it around the side there. But I've always wanted a Blasto, and it's a nice little frag that. I must admit, it's a nice chunky frag, but these two in the shop were huge, but give them time and that's another story. It's coral feeding day today, so they aren't really going to get fed, because the last thing I want is the fish going near them until they've bedded in, you know? So, right, I'm going to pause the video, pass it over to the missus, and she's going to show you. Now the water's completely stopped, but a little tip. What I do is, I get half a cap of my phytoplankton and I put it in here while it's switched off now, in there. 1, because there's cocopods in there, and 2, it helps feed the Cheeto and other things that are in there. So I'll put it in there because once I switch this on, you think, yeah, it's going to go through, but by the time it's gone through my socks and everything, it's basically not going to be nothing there. So I always put half a cap in my sump, you know, because this is going to be switched off now for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, half an hour, okay? Right, so I can screw that back on there. It's just something I do, half a little cap, you know, and like I say, I've got 2 full caps in there. Right, I'm going to show you what I do with the corals, and I'm going to have to feed the fish as well, because once you start putting the last coral food in, the fish will be all over it because they're hungry. So I get them fed, so they leave things alone, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a pain, because this is the way I have to do things, okay?
Yeah.
Is it paused?
Yeah.
Right. This is the amino acids going in, okay? I put them in a floor, right, you got it?
Yeah.
Right, I put them in a floor and you should see a lovely yellowy greeny colour. like that, look. I do that, and then that gets wafted through. Amino acids are very, very important, to be fair. This is the difference of corals giving out the colours, being happy, or just surviving. You think, well, it's not a food, but amino acids, it's the basic and most important thing, you ask me, than food. It's all that, it's like reef energy, it's, you know, it's even better than the trace elements, to be fair. I mean, which I do trace elements, but that's another science for the water, you know, your potassium, iodine, stuff like that. And then I do it on this one here. There's a little bit left, I'll just pour it through. Right, now I'll give that 5 minutes for it to get through, and it will start to wake the corals up. Right, you can pause now. Right, 5 minutes has passed, and I use this. It's not quite a turkey baster, it's somewhat more petite, but this is what I do with the plankton now. I've got a clam here, so I squirt some over the clam like that, look, and I put it just over the corals. And then I give some over here. Certain things that need it, you know, like my frog's bomb, my ear cans, my bubble there, look, and then I go right across the Euphilia garden and give it some there. But like I said, remember this tank now is not running anywhere, it's just all getting mixed into the water. And I come down here and give the lovely Elegance a really good spray, because that actually really benefits from it. But like I said, they all get it because it's getting wafted around the tank. And that's the second stage of the coral feed. And now I'll give that another 5 minutes for them to start smelling and wanting to wake up and smell the food. Now, this is where I feed the fish, because the fish are a pain. Now, if I start feeding the corals, they're just going to rob it all off them. But this is Mysis RS, it comes in a big sheet. It's not cheap, it's 15 quid a sheet. But it's better than any of that frozen packet Mysis, you know? I mean, I could actually do with a better turkey bait, so this one's starting to like, it's not very good. But this is where I start to feed the fish. A little bit at a time. But I've got certain fish that are a bit shy, so sometimes I might flick it like over there and look at it. You can see what they're doing, look, they're all over it. I mean, I've got a coral beauty in here. I've only had her a couple of weeks. Well, 2 weeks on Monday, tomorrow. It's there in the centre. Don't know if you can see it, Lorraine. But it's still a bit nervous, but it's never eaten this. There it is, there, look, can you see it, Lorraine? There it is, look, the coral beauty, look, there it is. So I try, because it's new, to make sure it's getting some food. But I don't feed them this. They only get this Mysis on a Wednesday and a Sunday. You know, they get pellets, they get flakes, they get different sorts of food. But on a Sunday, I don't clean this food. I leave it cloudy, because it's full of amino acids and it's got amino 3 oils in it and that, you know, which is very good for the corals as well. So yeah, I don't actually clean this, but they only get this on a Wednesday and a Sunday. This is a heavy feeding day, like tomorrow, the tank won't get nothing because it's Monday. And when I do it on a Wednesday, they don't get out on a Thursday because, you know, you can't go crazy overloading. But look, I'll pour that in now, that last bit. And all the fish are getting well fed. As you can see, it's not getting blown around that much. Some might land on the corals now with all the anemones, but I haven't gone crazy, you know? How long's it been running?
9 minutes.
Okay. Now, I will get this coral paste ball.
I didn't see it.
And shove it on my tank glass. It's 30 quid a tub this, but it's absolutely brilliant, I swear by this. When them two smell this, I mean that one's been a bit sulky for a couple of days, but I don't worry about it, I've had it 5 years. Because when it does wake up, it'll be touching this maize brain, to be fair. It comes right over here. If anyone's seen my other videos, you'll know how big that gets. But because I've had a bit of a different flow with a new wave maker in there to sort out my Elegance coral, it's annoyed it because it's got a different sort of flow. But there's that paste. And now I will give this now another 5 minutes, and then I will feed the corals. Can you pause it now?
Done.
Right, as you can see, this carpet now, look, it's starting to lift up round the edges, you know, because it's getting the waft of this food here. So you can see it rising up, and slowly it will should turn into a pumpkin. It doesn't always do it. I mean, that one only does it every now and then. This one does it every now and then. I have had them both do it. But here we go. This is the coral food now. And now the fish are not so hungry. I'm not saying they won't, but I can start spot feeding a little bit on the Duncan, you know. And it just benefits them, you know, and a little bit on the torch. Oh, look at that, look, Lorraine. Have we got it? Look, here it goes, look. It's starting to really come now. And then I squirt this all there, look, all over my bubble. My lovely micromousa there, look. Right, let me get the elegance coral. Got to make sure the elegance, look at the elegance is already closing up because it's already fed the plankton and it can feel all the stuff coming out, but my black razzie does not leave this alone once I've fed it. It can be really annoying, he can. But yeah, look at it. You can see it, look at it, all its tentacles, it's all closing up and grabbing it and that now. It's very important, you know. You get the, it's like you like to be fed, don't we? Right, and then I go across these. Like I say, spot feeding them with fish is not the easiest thing because the fish bite them and it can end up doing more damage than good. So like I said, I try and get the fish fed so then they're not so greedy, you know. And right, there's little Spike up there, my lionfish. Well, I'm going to stop the video in a minute and I'm going to do a video on him being fed because he's such a little character. I just show around the tank, show him that, look, it's closing up, look. See? And show him the Duncan, look. Look, it's all closing up, look, grabbing the food and that. And the elegance coral, look. Yeah, this is how you feed your corals. There's different ways of doing it. I mean, you can turn the wave makers off and then you can start spot feeding them so nothing moves and it all drops on them. But like I say, my fish are greedy, especially that fox face. He's got a taste for certain things, and once he knows a certain coral has got some, he won't leave it alone, and then they get into a routine. Oh, if I'm hungry, I've got to that coral, and it's the last thing you want, because once the fish gets hold of a coral and starts biting it for its food, it can kill it. And sometimes it's better just, that's why I turn it off and let the flow do it all, so they can all grab it without the fish thinking one of them's covered in food, let's go raid it, because he's a little bugger and he's got a taste for air cans. That's why I'm risking putting these two baby air cans. Like, he's already pulled them both off the rock, but like I said, I've glued them now and I'm hoping he'll forget about them, but I don't know. I thought I'd chance it just one more time because that's the reason I don't have air cans, is because of him. And then once Doreen sees him do it, she copies suit, you know what I mean? And then I have two of them ragging him to bits. But yeah, the green one's starting to come out now, and so's the little red and grey one, if you want to take a little video of them before you switch it off. But like I said, I only got them today, and I'm hoping to go with the, well, they say they're air cans, but they're no such thing as air cans now. They changed the name 2 years ago to micromousa. So, you know, if you want to be technical, but we'll always call them an air can because that's how we know them. But yeah, I wanted two more to go there, little frags. So when they grow out and mix together, it should look lovely with the one of there. That's a different brand of air can, that, to be honest. That's a different sort altogether. But yeah, that's how you feed your corals. Look, here we go, Lorraine, look. Here he goes, look, film him. Here goes Bet, look, my Razzie. He doesn't leave it alone, look. He knows it's got food all over its tentacles. Even though he's being fed, it's just a little bugger he is. Sometimes I try and scare him away, and he actually takes the turkey baster. He's a bugger, he's got some bad temper on him, he has. But sometimes you could say, just leave the coral to have its food. You've had yours, but that's just the way he is. And I'm hoping this blaster here, Blaster Mousa, starts to nicely cut up, because it was beautiful and red in the shop. But like I say, it hasn't been in long, and it's still a bit stressed, but it may have too much light. Like I say, I'll give it a couple of days, and if it's not happy, it'll get moved to a darker spot, because Blastos do not like a lot of light. Right, I hope that's helped anyone out, and if I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And that's my coral feeding day on a Sunday, and that's what I do. This on a Wednesday and this on a Sunday, and that is it for them. But when I feed